Yo, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You see my face. You saw the graphic before this. This is an installment of the Casual Basketball Show. And I want to make this a staple of the channel here where we come down and have some conversations about basketball in a very, 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 very casual manner. You know what I'm saying? On today's episode, we got some stuff I want to talk about. NBA opening week. Active coach and active players going to prison because they're betting and participating in illegal activities that have to do with people getting a lot of money. And the race for the number one pick in the draft and some other stuff that's going in the NBA that I want to touch on, early returns and stuff like that. So come tap in. Welcome to the Casual Basketball Show. So let's start with the most burning topic going on in the basketball world, in the news world, and that was some stuff that happened Thursday. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Damon Jones were among 30 people arrested in a bust of an illegal gambling operation, and it had ramifications that affected the NBA directly. Terry Rozier, Malik Beasley still being in question in some of this stuff. Jonte Porter, obviously. It's a lot. There's a lot. I don't have any grand thoughts on this other than why are we doing this? Why are we literally why are we doing this? It don't make no sense as to why we're doing this. And you play stupid games. Most of the time you win stupid prizes. That's kind of how I feel about it, you know? And the NBA's gone through this before. We've had the Tim Donaghy saga from the time when he was reffing in the early 2000s and him having an impact on how games were, you know what I'm saying, the outcome of games and things like that. I don't understand why we're doing this again. I don't understand why we're doing this again, and I don't have a lot of words for it, man. It's also, to me, it's just stupid. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I did want to give the thoughts that I had on it, just because it's the craziest thing, But moving forward. Let's talk about the opening of the NBA season. We had some bangers on our hands, man. A lot of overtime games. A lot of big performances. Multiple 50 balls already. Like Aaron Gordon, Shea. What are we doing out here, man? Multiple 50 balls. But what I really want to talk about in terms of the opening of the NBA, in this time where we're getting a new broadcast deal from Amazon Prime, NBC, a new package on ESPN with the TNT Inside Guys, I feel like we're coming into a newer era of the NBA, especially with the mainstays of the previous era being literally on their last legs in terms of how much longer they're going to be playing. And last year, everybody was having a discussion about who's going to be the face. And my prevailing thought from that whole little thing was, it'll become very apparent who the next face of the NBA will be. It is going to become apparent. It's not going to be deniable. It'll just be something that naturally happens. And this brings me to, are we in the Wemby era? The Spurs are 2-0. They just pulled out another dub in overtime against the New Orleans Pelicans. Wemby fouled out, and they ended up closing it out. But if you watch the game against the Mavericks, you know what Anthony Davis brings to the table as a defender. You know what Derek Lively brings to the table as a defender. You know the kind of coach that Jason Kidd is and what he wants to bring from his teams. And what Nico Harrison, you know what I'm saying, emphasized when he traded Luka last year. Defense. And I haven't seen Anthony Davis get chopped up like that before. I haven't seen him get chopped up like that before. Wemby was doing whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, however he wanted to. And last year, before he had the blood clot, which was unfortunate. There was a lot of indecision in his game and trying to figure out what he would really wanted to do on the offensive end. And defensively, his impact is very simple. He's massive. He can read the floor very well. He's very, 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 very mobile. And he can block everything. Anytime you come near or around the paint, you will know his presence is there. There's nothing else you can really say about that. But offensively is where he can become dominant in some instances, like we saw with the 40 and 15 game that he had against the Mavericks. Unstoppable. Like, completely overwhelm your opponent. There's nothing that they can do. There's nothing that they can throw at you that will get in your way. Literally. Did whatever he wanted from the mid-range, drawing a hell of a lot of fouls, hitting threes, transition, catching lobs, playing on the inside and getting quick, easy baskets. It was everything you wanted to see. And this is the beginning of year 3. So, I feel like we're, this is Wemby's world. And there's some people that are better than him right now, obviously. But this is his world that he could have in the palm of his hands. At any point in time, once he realizes and puts certain things together, which will obviously come with time. I don't think the Wemby era starts now, but I feel like we're getting some hints and signs like, okay, this performance happens here, this happens again, and this is only game 1 and 2 of the NBA season. We'll have to see how everything flows. I'm not usually a guy that's really overreacting to a lot of things. I like to see trends. I like to see things happen over a certain amount of time. But that performance was just too insane to not have grandiose thoughts about. It's ridiculous. It's insane that he can do what he's doing. And also on that Spurs team, Stephon Castle. As quiet as, I wouldn't even say it's quiet, because his impact on that game against the Mavericks was very profound. He was ultra aggressive, getting to the rim, being a playmaker, a facilitator, being disruptive on defense. And last year, while I was away, I was still watching a lot of basketball. And coming into the 2024 draft, I was watching a lot of Stephon Castle prior to him being at UConn and what kind of role he had and what other kind of skills that he had as a ball handler, because I've heard those things watching UConn games and hearing his projections going into the draft. It's like, this guy has ball skills. He can do certain things with the ball in his hands. And he's starting to do that now. Even tonight, he had a big-time clutch 3 against the Pelicans to kind of help salt the game away. He did have some blunders, though. A lot of turnovers. The playmaking is still something that he is, in the process of trying to get right. But he's taken a solid little jump that we've seen here, and this is the reigning Rookie of the Year that we're talking about. And pairing that with Wemby and Devin Vassell's playing decent. I like the pair with him and Luke Cornett. We're going to see how that continues to unfold through the rest of the season. Some vets and Keldon Johnson and Harrison Barnes and guys like that. The Spurs are going to be must-see TV. Wemby is going to be must-see TV for the rest of the year for me. And as obvious as that sounds, it's like, Wemby's he's amazing. And sooner or later, within the next 2 to 3 years, this will be his league. This will be his league, man. Some other NBA stuff, there's been so much basketball going on, NBA, college basketball. In the midst of making some of these videos, the Believe the Hype series, tap in with the AJ Devonta episode we released earlier this week. Monday next week, I'm putting out the Darren Peterson episode. Come tap in with that. That's going to bleed into some of the other stuff I want to talk about later outside of current NBA action. But moving on to some of the other teams that I kind of want to talk about, some teams that I want to keep an eye on early on in the season. I want to keep tabs on the Orlando Magic, see how that mix goes in terms of how they integrate Desmond Bane into their fold offensively, especially in crunch time. He had a monster game, that initial game against the Miami Heat on Wednesday, and it was really impressive to see. He had some big shots. He made some plays defensively, getting on the floor for loose balls, bringing energy, all that kind of stuff. Down the stretch in that game, I did want to see more Franz touches, you know what I'm saying, to kind of salt the game away. I wanted to see more Franz. It was more so Desmond Bane and Paolo playing back and forth, and sometimes it broke down and it didn't look all that good. And that also happened at the end of the game tonight against another team I kind of want to keep tabs on, the Atlanta Hawks, where with 10 seconds left, Paolo took the wildest shot that it was unnecessary. They lost the game in part to that crazy ass shot that he took. And I'm not really in love with the process right now offensively at the end of these games, and it's something that you definitely have to keep tabs on, because it's not something that's like, oh, they're this based off of these first two games. Everybody's still trying to get acclimated, get their feet all together, get everything in order. And you've seen that across the league with some other teams, like the Houston Rockets right now are 0-2. I'm not too worried about them being 0-2. They do have some things that could be worrisome, like they got to get some type of continuity and flow offensively, playing through both KD and Alpi, and seeing what else you got for some of your other guys like Jabari Smith Jr. What does a men take any kind of jump throughout the season offensively in terms of his shooting, even in the mid-range or floaters? Not even specifically from three, but get some offensive development there, and being able to kind of supplement your suffocating defense and size with some offensive continuity and things like that. Another team that's 0-2 that I'm a bit more worried about, the Mavs. And it kind of is similar point to what I was making with the Rockets, but they just I don't think they have the same scoring talent right now, especially with no Kyrie. They have some questions offensively that they need to answer, and that kind of bleeds into their defense, in my opinion. They don't have real continuity yet. Starting Cooper at point guard, which is cool, I guess, but how effective is it? I don't know. I don't really think it would be that effective in terms of if you're trying to win right now. If you're trying to just get Cooper some experience and kind of just doing whatever, cool. But if you really want to, get to the point that your GM kind of pointed you to at the end of the season last year, I think you need to kind of be a little bit more serious, if I'm being honest. Who else do I really want to talk about? Some other games that I didn't get a chance to see that were just like, what happened here? The Jazz beating the life out of the Clippers on Wednesday night. I had it on in passing, but I didn't get a chance to really tap in. By the time I looked, it was a 20-point game. I'm like, what happened here? We're going to have to figure that out. I'm going to have to try to watch that game at some point this weekend and really dig my teeth in and see what happened there. And also, tonight, the Grizzlies, after getting a good win against the Pelicans, which is another team I want to talk about here shortly, they got their ass kicked too by the Miami Heat with no Tyler Hero. They gave up a lot of points. I don't even know what the final score was. They gave up a lot of points. Actually, I'm going to look at my other screen real quick and see how many points they gave up, because it was 146. The Memphis Grizzlies gave up 146 points to the Miami Heat with no Tyler Hero. What? Huh? Yeah. Shout out to my Heat fans, though. You know what I'm saying? I know some Heat fans. Shout out to y'all. Y'all got a good dub. Y'all could be interested in this season at some point, some way, somehow, some fashion. Or y'all could just be the most boring and, team like you were last year. Outside of that, let's move over from that to some college basketball, because for NBA, I have a lot of stuff I need to catch up on. There's been too many games. It's been too many games, man. It's been overload. Oh, I'm sorry. I I need to talk about the Pelicans because I've watched the Pelicans play tonight. That was my game of the night for the NBA, and I watched their game on Wednesday against the Grizzlies. The Pelicans are kind of fun, man. I kind of like watching them play because, you know what I'm saying, they have a lot of offensive firepower in terms of just offensive talent individuals. Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy III, Zion, Jordan Hawkins. I'm sorry, I got distracted there. James Harden bucked that Bryce O'Neal. Jordan Hawkins. They have a lot of offensive firepower is what I'm trying to get at. And they've been able to stay in some of these games in terms of that. Their defense has been bad. Like, straight up about it. Everybody was talking about how their defense was going to be bad. Their defense is bad. But the offensive flashes have been fun. Jeremiah Fears has had some good moments. Derek Queen had a really good game tonight. He couldn't really rebound to save his life on a couple possessions, but that's kind of was the book on him coming out. So, but he looked decent tonight. He was hooping. And this is a team that has a lot to play for. A lot to play for. Because they gave up their pick. So, you're 0-2. You're on the clock. You got to make something shake. You got to make something shake, bro. Other than that, I want to give a shout out to the rookies. Some of the rookies and second-year players. Shout out Keyshawn George, career high tonight. Shout out JXTRHO. You know what I'm saying? Coming really close to breaking a rookie all-time record for points in the debut. He hooped his ass off. He had a lot of space to work with. He was getting to that rim. He was being an electric and violent athlete, and he was mixing in some of that skill that he has. And it was a good performance. Him and Maxey really hooped. They really, really hooped. And Joel Embiid being bad didn't matter. But once again, it's so early. I have to say this for everything. Something we're going to have to continue to monitor out through the rest of the season. Something we're going to have to do. Moving away from the NBA now. I want to talk about the race for the number one pick in the 2026 draft. And this is going to be an all-year thing for this. Last week, we had the exhibition schedule kickoff for college basketball. And last Saturday, AJ DeBonsa kicked it off first with BYU, and they played against Nebraska in the exhibition that they lost, unfortunately. But AJ had 30. He showed off his talent, and it was impressive. It was really impressive. He showed off that first step ability, the ability to get downhill and get to the rim. He flashed some of that, you know what I'm saying, catch and go mentality in the half court where I want him to really be able to play off ball and catch and make quick decisions to get buckets, because that man can score the basketball. He can score the basketball with the best of him at his age amongst his peers. He can score that mug. But it has to be more efficient. It has to be more refined for him to be considered a number one guy in a situation where he would be a franchise player. Moving over to Cam Boozer, I watched a majority of that game earlier on today. And if you watch that performance, that's just what Cam Boozer does. You know, score on all three levels, hit some catch and shoot open threes, you know what I'm saying, drive to the rim from the perimeter, use that big body to move people out of the way on your way to the rim, get some touches inside, get putbacks, follow-ups, do all the dirty work, play really good defense, get a lot of rebounds, win the game. That's what he does. And tonight, the viewing world was introduced to Darren Peterson, and I really want you to watch the episode, the Believe the Hype episodes, because I'm really gonna break down their games in those episodes. And Darren Peterson was excellent tonight. He was a true 3-level scorer, ultra aggressive, comfortable at the college level already with physicality, being able to draw fouls and play that game to be able to keep defenders on their heels. He hit a lot of threes. He hit 6 threes, if I remember correctly, all in the first half. And he ran them threes off in a row. It was really impressive. It was really impressive. People were throwing around Michael Jordan comparisons on Twitter. That's how impressive it was. I'm not on that boat. Watch the video. You'll see my sphere influence, and we'll go from there. I'm not putting him in MJ conversations because that I'm not doing that. I don't think I'll ever do that. Ever. I don't think I'll ever do that. But point being, the race for the number 1 pick will be a season-long adventure. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There's going to be a lot of competition. And then in this class, there's a lot of other guys as well that outside of the top 3 that I'm really, really, really interested to see. I need to tap in with the game that Arkansas had tonight where Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas play really well. I really like Darius Acuff from the little bit that I saw of him. He's a smaller 6'1", 6'2"-ish guard, probably 6'1", 6 foot-ish, if I'm being honest, but a super scorer. Can get wherever he wants to on the floor, can knock down shots from the mid-range, from the 3, get to the cup and be strong and aggressive and assertive, and it's also a really good playmaker. Nate Mint, Caleb Wilson. Oh my goodness, Caleb Wilson. So Caleb Wilson was a guy that I only really seen clips of and things like that, and read articles from guys like in those ceilings and those kind of publications and stuff like that to kind of get a background on him. I watched him play tonight. They played against BYU. AJ and them played their second exhibition game, and this is the first time we've seen Carolina. And Caleb Wilson is a guy that has had pedigree. He was the 5th ranked player in the high school class. He played with Cam Boozer on the circuit and won a Peach Jam championship. He's a guy. He's a guy in amongst his peers in this class. But he had a really, really impressive performance last night. Tonight. Last night when you see this. He's 6'9". He has a decent frame that could, that's pretty bulky. He's not like a real gangly, super skinny kind of player. He's pretty built. He's got really good defensive instincts. He's always got a nose for the ball. He's getting a lot of rebounds, putbacks, follow-ups. He shows and flashes some shot creation ability from the mid-range and possibly from the 3. The handle has to get better and things like that. But he showed a lot. It's going to be a lot of up and down for him. Nate Mint probably is going to be a lot of up and down. Just that type of archetype of guy where it's like, I'm a combo forward that's a good defender, but the offensive game isn't quite polished yet. So we'll have to see how that goes. And we got some upperclassmen, obviously, as well. You got your Bennett Sturts. You got your, he's not an upperclassman, but a second-year guy in Tahad Pettifer, LeBaron Philon, guys like that. And some of the international guys, too, that came over to college, like Nico Abdalis, if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, I'm sorry. At Virginia Tech, he's going to be a guy, 6'7", guard. Same from last year in terms of how he's being talked about in the Kaspers Yakachonis and Yegor Diomin, that kind of lane and realm. He's going to be a guy to watch as well. But other than that, I got a lot more basketball to watch. I wanted to check in with y'all, let y'all know that I'm back and talk about a couple of things. And I was gone for a while, man. For a little while. Not a little while. I was gone for a long while. But I am back. This show will be a constant on this channel. As well as feature videos on players and stuff like that. I'm planning on trying to tap in with some of the younger guys and monitor how they've gone throughout the season, like a journey throughout the season, as well as for some second-year guys as well. I don't want to say any names yet because I'm not 100% certain. I know I have some rookies in mind that I want to keep tabs on and some second-year guys I want to keep tabs on throughout the rest of the year to see how their development goes and kind of follow their career arc. But other than that, like the video, comment down below some things that you want to talk about. I'll get down in the comments and be conversational. Yeah, man, I'm back. 2 hoops, you know what I'm saying? The casual basketball show, first episode back. I don't really have too much else to say. I'll talk to y'all later. See y'all on Monday. Bye.